How is it going, my heroes, my villains, and everybody in between? Sean Ross here, and I am finally back after yet another week break to give you guys my live reaction to the latest chapter of My Hero Academia. We are on manga chapter number 270, which is entitled Inheritance.
I'm preparing for him to become the next me, my successor. Now, it's your turn.
Shigaraki, it is time to wake up because now it's your turn. That title has to be talking about the inheritance of All For One being passed down to Shigaraki. That would just make sense, especially coming off of the end of last chapter with those final two panel shots showing an unconscious Shigaraki and then transitioning over to All For One in the middle of Tartarus. The Evil Lord's dream is not going to die here, and it's only a matter of time until Shigaraki awakens. And once he does, plus chaos. Just plus chaos everywhere. But I am curious to see how Shigaraki is going to be awakened now that he has been broken out of the tank and is at 75% completion. Is it going to be of his own doing or an external factor that wakes him up?
I can see the future!
I am excited for this chapter. I have been waiting over this week break. I just can't wait to see what Horikoshi has in store for us. So, mount ladies and gentle criminals, without further ado, let's dive right into chapter 270. Okay, picking up right where last chapter left off, and we see Present Mike just grabbing hold of Dr. Ujiko by his lab coat, and he is like getting ready to escort him out of the damaged laboratory.
No, please, have mercy!
Shut the fuck up!
The Nomu follow your commands, yeah? Call off the ones rampaging out there. Get up. You're coming with me. You get Shigaraki, Exless. Got it. You just see Shigaraki face down, unconscious, in like the 6-inch deep water. He could still potentially drown in that amount of water, but I can't believe Exless is going to be the one in charge of escorting Shigaraki out of the lab.
What the fuck?
A hero whose name we just learned in last chapter.
You serious?
That does not bode well for Exless's survival. That's all I'm gonna say. But Exless is like, Roger Dodger, I've got this. Puts his hand on Shigaraki and then turns his head.
I'm right behind you, buddy.
Why do I hear boss music? Why do I hear boss music?
And just a panel of him looking at like the damaged piping and machinery. What's that machine? The tubes must have shielded it from damage.
Oh no.
There is still one machine functioning.
Oh, we're gonna fucking die.
That machine is most likely going to resurrect Shigaraki.
Correct!
Why else would there just be one still active and working? I'd better destroy it just to be safe. You better, Exless. I think your life may depend on it.
I'm in danger.
Move it. Move your ass, Exless. Move like Present Mike as he's sprinting through this corridor right here, holding onto Dr. Ujiko.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
70 years ago.
Let me weave you the tale of my origin.
Dr. Ujiko is about to just monologue to Present Mike. Give him his backstory, his life story. And Present Mike is like, oh god, not this. He looks so not interested. 70 years ago, the world mocked me and my theory. My paranormal singularity theory.
As the generations pass, quirks combine and become more powerful. Hypothetically, stronger, more complex quirks may one day become too hard for anyone to control, especially untrained children. Quirk Singularity Doomsday. That's what they call this theory.
They said it was irrational nonsense based on weak evidence. Everyone ignored me. In those days, when the world was struggling to end the turmoil and reclaim peace, nobody wanted to hear about another terrible collapse in the far-off future.
That actually makes sense.
I mean, that does actually make sense. It's like, let's deal with the problems we have now with quarks manifesting, and let's not worry about this theoretical doomsday in the future based on this quark singularity theory.
This was back when quirks were just starting to show up, before society had figured out how to deal with the newly powered among them. When quirks first appeared, suddenly it was impossible to say what it meant to be a normal person. Laws and human rights were hotly debated. Civilization's progress stalled. Society decayed.
The world will end next week! Spend your children's college fund! Thaw that turkey now!
Nowadays, the quark singularity theory is considered fringe thinking reserved for cults. And now President Mike is chiming in. The scholar who presented it went missing soon after. They said he died a few years later. He'd have to be over 120 years old at this point. Right. Of course. He has that, like, the aging quirk. Something that, like, prolongs his life. Like what they saw with the duplicate up top in the hospital. So President Mike's putting 2 and 2 together. It's like, okay, it makes sense. You're that original doctor that came up with this thesis, and thanks to that lifespan longevity quirk, you're still around. I was ostracized with nowhere to live. In my wretched state, he was the only one who reached out. With his overwhelming presence and Buddha-like smile, he appeared as a god incarnate walking among men. Big praise coming from Dr. Ujiko talking about All for One.
He shouldn't be your hero. He's more like a demon or a super f***ed up god.
Let's not suck the ghost of his too hard. He was a terrorist and now he's dead.
My quirk doubles my lifespan while sacrificing physical mobility. Life force. I presented my quirk as an offering to him. For some reason, I suddenly got the feeling that I'd rather not be touching this creep. The disgust I'm feeling is overwhelming my rage.
Bad touch! Stranger danger!
President Mike is like, I hate holding on to this guy. I can just feel disgusted holding on to the doctor right now. The quirk inside me now is just a duplicate of my original. Could that be the same quirk that's kept All for One alive this long? Exactly.
One who steals quirks has no limits. Anything's possible. There are quirks that halt aging. He probably has something like that.
So the doctor has a duplicate that he created through his science and then gave his original quirk to All for One. You're Kurogiri's friend, aren't you?
What did you say?
Oh, that's gonna get President Mike's attention real quick. Back then, I really wanted to get my hands on Eraser instead.
You what?
Really?
Stranger danger.
So, does that mean the incident with Shirakumo's death was crafted by Dr. Ujiko and All for One, and their main goal was actually to get Aizawa's quirk and not Shirakumo?
Really makes you think.
That's interesting. So he was originally after Aizawa's Eraser quirk, which makes a lot of sense. It's an OP quirk to have. But President Mike, hearing this, is like shocked. It's like, wait a minute, what did you just say? Right now, I'm too close for comfort to something seriously revolting. And look at the doctor's face.
Look!
He's still crying, tears are flowing from his eyes, but he has that, like, maniac smile. And the fact that he's saying all this right now, like it's going according to plan, like he is not worried right now. Sure, he's crying because his lab was destroyed and they potentially stopped Shigaraki from reaching 100%. But things are not over yet.
And here we go.
Yo!
Behold.
Hold the phone. Double page spread. And we are going full on Doctor Strange here. We are in Shigaraki's dreamscape right here.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
This double page looks amazing. You got pieces of buildings and sidewalks just floating in the air. Shigaraki is on one of these pieces, and you just see disintegrating hands floating everywhere. And you can even see hands popping up like skyscrapers on the city down below. No. No. Okay. We are reaching the beginning of the awakening.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Shigaraki is still alive in there, and he's currently going through a Doctor Strange Inception-like dreamscape.
Open your eyes. Real.
This has me excited. Okay, Horikoshi, what do you got for us here? And Shigaraki's just looking around. Where am I?
Where the fuck I am?
Daddy said all that stuff, but... And Shigaraki turns around to see Hana.
Hey!
Daddy said all that stuff, but... Don't worry. I'm on your side, Tenko. So he's now reminiscing a little bit. That's the moment when Hana brought Shigaraki Tenko Shimura into the father's study and then showed the picture of Nana Shimura.
Young man, you too can become a hero.
Not on my watch!
Basically saying, like, don't worry, I support your dream. I'm on your side, Tenko. You too can become a hero. So now we're going to be going through some of his memories again?
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
I mean, Shigaraki is kind of stunned seeing Hana again. He's like, Hana? Sorry about that. Turns around again. I shouldn't have done that. I was the one who said it had to be a secret. Sorry.
Listen.
And then flash forward a bit to the moment when she told, out of fear, to the father that they were in there, and then her coming out later to apologize after Kotaro just slapped a young Tenko Shimura. So this is the moment right before
Get over here!
Tenko's quirk activated and then Hana was disintegrated. But sadly, the dog was already dead at this point. Oh, that. Whatever. That stuff doesn't matter anymore.
Hi, Mom.
And then now we're getting his mother manifesting. Tenko. Do you still want to be a hero?
Mother.
And now he's turning around to look at his mom. You rubbed your eyes all ragged. It'll only get itchier if you keep scratching. And then he transforms back into his little Tenko Shimura self. I'm okay now, Mom. Wow. It's subtle, but I do like that. Like, in the presence of his mom, he once again becomes his mother's son. He becomes Tenko Shimura in her presence.
Round 2. Fight!
Now we're going over to Father Kotaro. Tenko, did you sneak into my study?
Come.
Oh, I could see the hair now turning white, going full Kaneki in the presence of his dad. And then that devilish grin pops up on his face. Like he's getting ready to, like, murder him again. That's the same murderous intent on his face that he had when he was, like, just in bliss, disintegrating his dad before his eyes.
I'm gonna kick your ass. Touch.
See the giant hand of his father coming down upon him. And with a smile on his face, he just touches the palm of that giant hand and it shatters and disintegrates away. And now his hair is full white again. I like that. These brief glimpses back with his family. him becoming the little brother again in the presence of his sister, him becoming the son to his mother, and then him liberating himself in a way by destroying the hand that beat him, and him enjoying it, getting rid of his father's presence. I like that a lot. Tomura.
Tomura Shigaraki.
And now Papa All For One appears before him. Master, you're looking like Kurogiri. To me now. Whoa, wait a minute. Is he appearing as like a vestige? Like that's the same look Deku had in the Vestige dreams.
I'm preparing for him to become the next me, my successor.
His body's there, but the top half from the neck up is just mist, with just the mouth showing and talking to Shigaraki. Like, come to me now. And then just showing the 75% completion, the screen just broken and shattered. He foresaw his downfall and entrusted all he had to his successor. He even chose to pass on his quirk. So, just like I once did for him, he took a duplicate of his quirk for himself and gave the original to Tomura Shigaraki. Yo! I mean, I feel like we kind of already knew this, but that is confirming that Shigaraki now has the original quirk of All For One. And that All For One had a duplicate of his quirk. So he had the duplicates all the way back when he fought against All Might in Kamino.
Don't let him get under your skin. Yes, sir. His quirks and fighting style are completely different than they were. You won't be able to stop him head on. Use your wits.
That also explains why Gran Torino said why he had like a different set pair of quirks he was using. It's because he was also utilizing a duplicated quirk of All For One. But my question is though, did all those original quirks with the original quirk of All For One get passed on to Shigaraki as well? Or does he just have the original quirk of All For One and now has to like stockpile the quirks back up?
I have so many questions!
So just like the doctor, he gave his original quirk to All For One and he had the duplicate. He gave Shigaraki the original and he had the duplicate all along. Yo, and Shigaraki is now just walking towards All For One and getting ready to embrace the quirk.
Now, it's your turn.
Yamero!
Yo! That's a nice touch, Horikoshi. You can see a whole bunch of hands reaching out and grabbing a hold of Shigaraki, and they're telling him to stop. It's his family. They are reaching out to stop him from accepting and inheriting All For One. And the hands are in the positions where he would wear them. The hands around his neck are his mom. The two on the upper part of his biceps are from his grandparents, and then going down, you have Hana's father. And then, of course, you have the dad coming out of All For One and just putting the father hand right across his face and just saying, Tenko, like, don't do this. Stop what you're doing.
You know it's the truth. That is clearly something I would do.
Horikoshi, wow. I love you for that. You have Nana Shimura putting her hand on the back of his head, subtly confirming that that was her hand this whole time, basically.
She's my master's grandchild. My God, what would she say if she knew how we turned out?
Horikoshi, I love this. This is so good. And as Nana Shimura is placing that hand on the back of his head, she's saying, don't ever forget. And then Shigaraki is thinking back, a brief flashback to seeing that picture of Nana as a hero, that someone within their family, his grandmother, was a hero. That brief memory right there. And he's like squinting his eyes. And he brushes them aside, saying, enough. You will not hold me back, basically. Like, sure, that's his past, but his past will not hold him back anymore. He's letting the past die. As he's just confidently walking towards All for One.
Let the past die. Kill it, if you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
There's so much power and symbolism behind this moment right here. I absolutely love it. Just disintegrating the hands, brushing them aside, walking over, and accepting and inheriting All for One.
Just call me Daddy!
And All for One has his arms spread wide as Shigaraki just walks into the darkness with the hands disintegrating. And even as Nana is disintegrating, watching her grandson accepting the great evil she was trying to destroy. Don't reject who I am. And now we're going back with Exless right next to Shigaraki. Yo. No way. One of the tubes just fell onto the water and you have an electric sound. Exless, you better get out of there. Don't tell me it's about to electrify and wake up Shigaraki. Yo! That is exactly what is happening. You have got to be kidding me. I basically kind of predicted that last chapter, 2 weeks ago. Because Shigaraki's going to be waking up in some way, shape, or form. I can just feel it right here. And how badass would it be if he actually, like, restarted his own heart, woke up, and then started going on a rampage?
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm.
Everyone, what's the procedure?
Stay calm. Wait. Everybody, calm down.
He's restarting his own heart.
Called it.
Alive. It's alive. It's alive.
That is amazing. I usually don't predict stuff, but I kind of predicted it. I did, but I didn't, but I kind of did. Yo, that is awesome. And you just see Exless just sitting there. His arm was originally holding onto Shigaraki, now it's just being jolted up like, Exless, you are a dead man.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh, yes! He's gonna be the appetizer. The first person that's gonna die.
Dead man walking.
With Shigaraki awakening. Oh my God. And just look at him. Arch that back. Jesus. And you can still see that his hand has not fully recovered yet. He's got something on his hand where the missing fingers are. But they still haven't regrown back. He doesn't have a quirk that kind of rejuvenates them. But I am so excited and happy. It's weird to say, but I am looking forward to the plus chaos that is about to ensue. I cannot wait. Yo, awaken Tomura Shigaraki. He's alive! And through electricity, no less. Oh, I love it. And then just a panel.
I'm back, bitches!
Yo! Deku! We're going back outside! With the students evacuating the city on the outskirts of the hospital. It has been a while since we have seen Deku. Like at least over 10 chapters, close to 15 maybe. Man, I have missed them. We're actually seeing him again. And we see Todoroki and Bakugo, Ichigo and Nejire evacuating civilians. And of course Bakugo still barking orders. He hasn't learned, I guess, since the provisional exam.
Shut up! Save yourselves, you white-earth!
You need to be kind-hearted, my dude. You can't be yelling at the citizens, telling them where to go. That's why you're in remedial classes with Todoroki.
What the hell did you say?
But Deku looks like he's just got like a shocked look on his face. He's coming.
Raising.
He got like fast heartbeat sound effects.
He's coming!
He's coming.
Phrasing!
He can sense it. He senses the awakening of Shigaraki. Deku has felt a disturbance in the Force, and it's a big one.
I felt a great disturbance in the Force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. I fear something terrible has happened.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact, like, that he can sense Shigaraki awakening because of All For One. Because technically, All For One helped create One For All. So maybe he's got like a little bit of his, his vestiges could technically still be within One For All. Damn, he senses Tomura. And this has been a long time coming. That is the end of the chapter. Next chapter hits May 17th.
Why don't we spend some time catching up, Izuku Midoriya? Tomura. Shigaraki.
No break, which I absolutely love. But I think by the end of this arc, Deku and Shigaraki are finally going to meet again. And it has been such a long time since chapter 69, Interview with Midoriya.
But here's a little word of advice, friend. Be careful. The next time we meet, I'll likely have to kill you.
These two, by the end of this arc, I think are going to come face to face. They're going to clash. But there's going to be a lot of plus chaos before that happens, because Exless, I'm sorry, my dude. We just learned your name last chapter, but you were the appetizer. You're gone. So many other pro heroes are either going to die or lose their quirks because of Shigaraki. And, it would be something if, like, the hospital on that mountainside blows up, and then the students rush over there, and then that's how Deku and Shigaraki meet again. So with that, guys, that right there is my live reaction to chapter 270 of My Hero Academia. But now I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on the events of this chapter and what potentially is about to go down in next week's. Shigaraki is in the midst of awakening. Is Exless about to die? How many other pro heroes are about to die? And by the end of this arc, will we get the reunion between Deku and Shigaraki and them clashing for technically the first time? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon that you guys can be alerted for every new MHA reaction. But if you guys want to talk about other things or talk about MHA outside of YouTube, feel free to also follow me over on Twitter. A link to my Twitter account can also be found in the description down below. That's going to do it for me here, guys. So until next week, when we have chapter 271 of My Hero Academia, I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, go beyond plus ultra.